Hi folks, my name is Franco Tanelli and this is Science of Singing. Today I'm going to juxtapoint two different schools of singing. Appoggio, one timbral way of singing, and placement school, multi timbral way of singing. Placement school say, we are fast. Appoggio schools say, we are beautiful. If you come to a maestro or a practical singer, you can ask him, Maestro, I have some problems with my high notes. Can you fix them? Depending on what type of school this particular teacher is, the answer will be like that. Yes, that's no problem. I will fix your high notes. We'll find a good placement for them. This is a placement teacher approach. And the other one, oh, I will fix your high note. We'll find a good support for them. That's an appoggio type of approach. So you don't have to necessarily say, I am this and this. If your teacher will try to fix your voice through timbral search or through search for placements, that's a placement. If the teacher is trying to fix your problems by using natural placement, only one timbral placement, and support, this is appoggio approach. As I mentioned before, appoggio uses one timbral approach, and placement school uses multi-timbral approach or multi-register. Appoggio technique is effective with any type of voice, whether it's huge dramatic operatic voice or a small concert but classical voice. Whether placement school, they like to work with smaller voices. The reason is, the smaller the voice is, the less we hear multi-timbral shortcomings. That is one of the reasons why multi-timbral schools usually don't know what to do with big voices. Incorrect use of any techniques will lead you to trouble. Placement troubles are usually lack of beauty in voice when very poor support is used, then also the trouble with the vocal cords and with the vocal machine. Appoggio school, if not done properly, can be also dangerous, like any technique. Whether they can or not, that is another question, but all singers try to use one timbral technique. It's just a lack of understanding how to. You see, in appoggio technique, we greatly manipulate with the diaphragm in order to keep one timbral sound. That is very important. We have to manipulate with the diaphragm or any other supportive muscles in order to keep that voice unforced, one timbral and beautiful. In placement school, we manipulate with the position of the throat to find an easy placement for different timbral applications. When we find these multi-timbral sounds or different registers, and we know exactly when we turn our voice, when we cover our voice and everything else, that makes our singing pretty comfortable and gives us, along with good support. And I remind you that even in placement school you need to support your voice. The support becomes pretty easy in that sense. Relatively, of course, easy. When you support three timbral singing or three register singing, usually that's the school of placement, you choose a more or less constant oppositions or balancing of the diaphragm and other supportive muscles. So basically you have like a switch of three gears. The placement uses kind of three types of switch, both with the throat and with the supportive muscle. In appoggio, we have as invariable, we have a timbre or open throat. And in order to support this invariable, we have to work hard with appoggio, with our supportive muscles, with the diaphragm, so that we can always provide with necessary pressure on the vocal cords, not overdo it and not underdo it. And of course that creates a great deal of work for supportive muscles. That would not be an easier way of searching and doing, but that will be the most beautiful way of doing it anyways. In appoggio technique, we are trying to keep our larynx in a stable position, or in other words, we're trying to keep our throat open without forcing it at the same time. So we need to manipulate greatly with the support to avoid forcing on vocal cords. So for scientific minds, there would be a very short explanation of appoggio placements. In appoggio, we keep this invariable. We keep the placement invariable. And we manipulate with the supportive muscles, including greatly the diaphragm muscles, to create a sound that is not forceful, easy to produce. In placement schools, support is more or less invariable, but the throat is variable. We have different position of the throat when we use multi-timbral singing or placements type of singing. This becomes ever-changing, and this becomes very stable, or if more precise, takes also 3 ways to support it. So we support in placement schools, chest voice we support with different appoggio, middle voice with a little bit different support, and a high voice with a different support. But still the support is not as intelligent and is not as applying every note as in one timbral singing or appoggio way of doing it. Thank you very much. I hope this video will clear up a little bit the ideas about appoggio. We sometimes understand things better when we compare them. Thank you very much, and until next time.